I just got a message saying that there's a problem with my computer.
Yes, ma'am, we got this.
This is much bigger than a little phishing scam.
Everyone, need your attention, please. I'm gonna burn this place to the ground.
Honey?
It's flammable as fuck. Who knew?
I'm explaining a film from 2024 titled The Beekeeper. Spoilers ahead. Enjoy the content. Eloise Parker, a retired schoolteacher, is shown living alone in Massachusetts at the start of the film. She rents out her barn to Adam Clay, a beekeeper who leads a modest existence. Later, Eloise calls the number provided to prevent losing all of her data after seeing a notice on her computer that her hard drive is contaminated. Boyd answers her phone and says he works for the United Data Company. When Eloise tells him about the warning, he reassures her that it is a component of the software package that she had preloaded on her computer and that it is from their antivirus program. He advises her to uninstall the older version and install the latest one. However, when Eloise mentions she isn't tech-savvy, Boyd suggests her to download software that would allow him to reinstall remotely. When Eloise accepts and complies, Boyd obtains remote access to her computer, revealing her account information to his group and giving them instructions on how to carry out the con. Recognizing the difficulty, Boyd offers to reimburse Eloise for her membership costs. When Eloise checks the account for transactions after he tells her there is a $500 credit, she finds a $50,000 credit rather than the $500. Boyd, panting, acknowledges his terrible mistake, citing his kids and expressing worry about maybe losing his work. Eloise, not wanting him to face repercussions, offers to wire the excess amount back, but as she enters the master password, her laptop shuts down, and Boyd proceeds to clear her entire account. When Eloise restarts her laptop, she is horrified to see that all of the money in her account has disappeared.
I just got a message saying that there's a problem with my computer.
Yes, ma'am, we got this.
To make matters worse, her bank is sending her fraud detection alerts at the same time. Adam shows up at Eloise's house that evening as scheduled for supper, but he takes a knife from the kitchen when he senses something is off. Verona, an FBI agent and Eloise's daughter, demands that he kneel after pointing a gun at him. Verona is surprised to discover her mother's deceased body at her mother's house when she asks Adam who he is and what he is doing there. Adam apologizes to her. Verona, skeptical of the suicide explanation given by the agents, decides to question Adam. He explains that he rented space in the barn from Eloise. When asked about his presence in the house, Adam reveals that Eloise didn't respond when he knocked, and concerned by the sound of a smoke alarm and noticing her car in the driveway, he entered to investigate. Later, Verona learns her mom has been duped when she examines Eloise's computer and finds that all of her accounts are empty. Now, Adam is freed the next morning because Eloise's fingerprints, not his, were on the pistol. Later, Verona apologizes to Adam for what happened the night before, to which he responds that it makes sense. She thanks him for taking care of her mother and extends an invitation for him to visit her home. Because he reminds her of her brother, a Marine raider who was slain a few years ago, Verona says she thinks her mother liked him. She then discloses that her mother was scammed, resulting in the emptying of all her accounts. When he asks if she knows who did this, Verona reveals that the crew responsible has been operating for 2 years without identifiable names. Even if they did, she continues, a defense lawyer would simply claim that the elderly victim consented to give his whole life savings to a complete stranger. Adam remarks that parents are involved when a child is harmed. Those who are concerned are willing to intervene, but when an elderly person is harmed, they may have to deal with the consequences on their own since either no one notices or nobody is concerned. Verona promises to get even with whoever did this since she is obstinate and shows concern. Adam gets up and goes with the jar of honey he had brought for Eloise, stating he has to tend to the hive. Adam retrieves a satellite phone from one of the beehive boxes and contacts a woman, requesting a favor to obtain a name and address. Later, the woman contacts him and informs him that they are routing worldwide, but she found the address. When Adam gets to the United Data Group building, security tries to stop him, but he is adamant on entering and lighting the place on fire. Adam confronts the security officer who is attempting to stop him from entering, asking whether they are aware that they are employed by con artists who prey on the weak in society.
This is private property.
Do you know what they do here? Scamming the weakest in our society.
Buddy, I'm counting to 3.
1, 2, 3.
When they try to attack him, he then knocks them down, goes inside the building, and gives the receptionist instructions to tell other businesses to leave right away since there is going to be a fire. After a while, there is a powerful explosion, ultimately destroying the building. Later, Boyd informs his boss Derek Danforth about the incident that a man destroyed their building, resulting in 4 casualties. Derek is shocked and asks to know the man's identity. However, Boyd informs him that he does not have it and that the fire damaged all of the discs and cameras. Wallace Westwild, a former director of the CIA, is asked to assist Derek in finding the individual, but he declines, saying that this sounds like a task for the police. Derek gives Boyd a call back, gives him his login information, and tells him to check their cloud to see if anybody is associated with any recent transactions. What if Boyd discovers this individual, he wonders. Which Derek icily commands him to put together a wrecking team in order to murder him. Meanwhile, Verona meets her partner Matt outside the United Data Group building, and he informs her that the receptionist witnessed a muscular man in his 40s manhandling security and entering the building with gas cans. Boyd, on the other hand, leads a gang of thugs to Adam's beehives and orders them to destroy the hives. They then head toward the barn with the goal of murdering Adam. But Adam kills them one by one with such expertise that after a heated struggle, he mutilates Garnett by chopping off his fingers but chooses not to kill him, rendering him unable. Subsequently, Verona learns about the fire at her mother's residence and finds out that the people who perished in it worked for United Data Group. Matt inquires if there's a possibility that the person who burned down the United Data Group is the same individual renting the spot from her mother. Meanwhile, Boyd contacts Derek and reports that the man severed the fingers on his right hand. When Derek asks him who the man is, Boyd replies that he doesn't know, but that he keeps bees. Adam throws a punch, grabs Boyd from his car, and ties him up with a tow strap all at once.
My fingers, he cut them off. Oh, what the fuck, bro?
Don't move.
Adam then gets into his vehicle and starts to speed it, which sends Boyd flying off a bridge and into the water. Subsequently, he speaks with Derek and alerts him of his impending pursuit. Verona informs Matt that the members of United Data Group were con artists under the direction of Boyd, a well-known mafia connection. They need to locate the central office that oversees all of the contact centers, as she believes that United Data Group is only one of several. When she asks about Adam, Matt tells her that he's a ghost who just has a social security number and a birth certificate. Just then, a call comes in, prompting him to urge Verona to leave as they've located Boyd. Meanwhile, Derek's mom Jessica calls Wallace and tells him that she has never seen Derek this scared. She offers him a board seat in the holding company. Wallace responds that he doesn't need a board position in the holding firm and gives her his promise to keep Derek safe when she offers it to him. Wallace makes contact with CIA Director Janet, asking for help and disclosing that a beekeeper has taken an unwelcome interest in Jessica's youngster. When Janet phones him again later that evening, she tells him that the show has retired his issue. The issue has been brought to the attention of the active beekeeper, who will take it further. Wallace worries, though, saying the current beekeeper is a crazy person who ought to have been fired months ago. Later, the current beekeeper launches an attack on Adam, intending to kill him. However, he manages to escape, and when local police arrive at the scene, she shoots them as well. Adam takes advantage of the situation and fights with her, kicking her back. She tries to shoot him, but he vanishes out of nowhere. Frustrated, she gets into her truck and begins using a machine pistol to destroy a petrol station. Amid the mayhem, Adam strikes her and uses a honey jar to knock her down. Then he lights her on fire, sending her plummeting from her automobile to her death. The petrol station blows up as Adam gets closer to her motionless corpse and chops off one of her fingers. Wallace receives a call from Janet telling him that the issue has not been resolved. The beekeepers have studied the situation and decided to remain neutral, so now he is on his own. The next day, Verona and Matt arrive at the gas station, and a detective informs them that the vehicle is registered to Anisette Landris. Verona asks Matt if he knows who Anisette is, and he replies that she is someone who doesn't exist in any commercial or government database, much like Adam. Wallace, in the meantime, organizes a team of former members of the Special Forces and informs them on initiatives like the beekeepers that even he was unaware of. But now it appears that a retired beekeeper has gone off the program and is acting in what he mistakenly believes is the hive's best interest. Meanwhile, Adam gains access to the beehive facility using Anisette's severed finger, secures the necessary items, and collects crucial information. On the other hand, Deputy Director Prigg and Special Counsel Amanda Munoz meet Verona and Matt. Verona briefs them, stating their belief that 3 significant crime scenes in the area are linked to a single individual, Adam Clay. connecting the nature of his alias. They suspect Adam is tied to a classified program named Beekeeper. They perceive him as highly capable and motivated, on a trajectory toward Boston, with 9-Star United being his next potential target. This company operates regional call centers, similar to the one Adam burned down. Prig asks her why is Adam on this rampage. To which she says he is protecting the hive. Prig gets up and says they will receive all the support they ask for. Later, the SWAT team arrives at the 9-Star United building, but ex-Special Forces operatives, acting on Wallace's orders, are already present, and Petties, their leader, instructs the SWAT team to leave. Derek is informed about Petties by the manager, who then gives Petties instructions to keep out of his affairs and concentrate only on finishing the work at hand. One of them is scared to see Adam among them as they leave, and as he tries to run away, Adam pushes him against a table. He then tells the others to go if they want to avoid getting hurt, but the manager is certain that anyone who tries to leave would be fired. When Pettis and his group approach, they open fire, but Adam deftly sidesteps their bullets. Eventually, he confronts Pettis, engaging in a fierce fight, and after a challenging battle, he succeeds in knocking Pettis down as well. Verona and Matt arrive, and a man informs Verona that Adam is inside the building. Verona decides not to wait for assistance and enters the structure. Adam confronts the manager in the meanwhile, and despite his cries for compassion, Adam grabs and throws him away. The manager reveals the company he works for, saying it is an untouchable enterprise. Adam, however, asserts that no one is untouchable and that occasionally the queen needs to be replaced when the hive becomes unbalanced. Adam tells Verona that her mother's death is directly related to the man at that moment. Though she maintains that laws are in place to deal with such situations, Verona says she believes him. After making his way out of there, Adam assaults Matt and takes him out. After taking the rifle apart, Adam responds that he understands and walks away from Matt as he begs for forgiveness. Later, Verona and Matt also get shocked to know who is behind this scam. Meanwhile, Wallace learns that his team is dead, and he suggests to Derek that it's time to call his mother as Adam can't make his move on them if they are in her proximity. Derek gives his mother a call and says he wants to spend this weekend with her. In an unexpected turn of events, Jessica is revealed to be the President of the United States. Director Prig is later met by Verona, who informs him that Adam appears to be pursuing the money. When Prig inquires about the name of the business, she responds that it is Danforth Enterprises, which was started and is run by Jessica Danforth, who just resigned in order to take office as the 45th President of the United States. Because of Jessica's involvement in the scheme, they fear that Clay may try to kill Derek in addition to Jessica. When they arrive at the President's beachfront estate, the Secret Service is already there. For added security, Wallace has also employed a crew of mercenaries, one of whom, Lazarus, lost his leg in a prior confrontation with a beekeeper. After some time Jessica also reaches there, and asks Wallace what's going on. Meanwhile, Adam reaches there by hiding under a truck in a security service uniform, and when an agent goes to check, Adam attacks him and takes his place, and gets along with the rest of the team. After that, Adam gets dressed up and heads to the celebration. Derek verifies his investments when Jessica presents him to Prig, who asks whether Derek is familiar with United Data Group and 9-Star United. Prig goes on to question him about his knowledge of a classified algorithmic data mining software program that the intelligence community has created. Verona, on the other hand, spots Adam and calls the SWAT squad right away. When Verona and the mercenaries eventually locate Adam, they ask him to kneel. As Lazarus prepares to shoot him, Adam presses a button on a remote, triggering an explosion in a vehicle, and seizing the opportunity, Adam grabs Lazarus's gun, eliminates the mercenaries, and makes a quick escape. Meanwhile, Jessica tells Derek that he broke the rules and corrupted an imperfect but functioning system. She responds that they were already wealthy because Derek's father had an empire, and he replies he was only attempting to assist her. Jessica makes the decision to inform the country as a whole that she will be telling the beekeeper the truth about what he did. Wallace, on the other hand, runs into Adam and attempts to stop him from going into Jessica's office, but Adam pushes him away, claims it's personal, and breaks his fingers. Derek murders Prig in the meanwhile, and when Adam comes, the door bursts open, and Derek kidnaps his mother. Verona and Matt also reach there and she asks him to put down his weapon. Adam says you decide who you work for. For the law or for justice. Derek attempts to kill his mother, but Clay kills him first and escapes through a nearby window. Despite Verona having a clear shot, she decides not to shoot Clay, and he flees with the aid of the scuba gear he had hidden on the beach. If you enjoyed the movie recap, you can subscribe to this channel.